Is I've now got a decision to make, a very big decision. At wartime shows, and he serves in the Preston brand. 1930s cars, especially American and British, that look the same. Yes, wooden reproduction made in the Philippines. The detail is just next level. It's just remarkable. It really is. Made by Kelvin back in 2016. So that track. Yes, I love the golden age of the flying boats. Yeah, very much like my moulded animal figures. Is that what you call them? Some call me a hoarder. Others call me a collector. This is my life's work. And yes, other people have bigger collections. Some have more diverse collections. And some just collect only one scale. But me, I'm a bit eccentric. Making, it's only temporary the way things are laid out. My good friend Rob, whose father served on the tank transporters in the British Army during World War II, he came yesterday. My next door neighbour Tony, who's very much into his Model T Fords, he came around as well. So most of this is just temporary. Next week I'll be pulling a lot off the shelves and redoing it. So when I say my life's work, I'm 30 years old. I've been collecting models, believe it or not, it's up to you, since I was 3 years old. I started with a JCB backhoe in 1/32 scale. And here we are, 28 years later, and this is literally like half of the collection. In the garage, I have 3 massive garden boxes. Garden boxes, storage boxes. They contain Matchbox Hot Wheels from the 90s, probably heavily corroded by now. But yeah, if you factor in them as well, then we have one hell of a collection. Is this the biggest diecast collection in the northwest of England? Possibly. I don't know. I know a few people with toy museums and transport museums. However, when you're talking about private collections, well, I ain't got a clue. It could be the biggest one. It might not be. Is it the most diverse? That's up to you. It's possible. There are M3 half tracks. There are Citroen half tracks. There are Soviet vehicles, Eastern European vehicles, 1930s Americana. Yeah, we've got a lot. More fire engines than what I care to imagine. I can't really stop collecting them, but hey ho. So there's the buses and coaches. I'd love to get some of them out, especially the Swiss ones, but as you can see, there's just no room. These here, these are 1950s cars. Well, post-war cars. Don't really have anywhere to put them. More post-war cars. There really is some diamonds in the rough here. Some have great stories behind them. This, for instance, this is from Miramax, I think they're called. These are very expensive. However, as you can see, mine is worth nothing because when the postman delivered it 2 years ago, he dropped it. It smashed into many, many pieces. And for me, it wasn't that expensive to buy anyway. It was a good friend of mine who sold it to me. So as a gift, the same friend gave me this. And yes, he gave it to me. No money involved. And there we are, beautiful Rolls Royce. And this is the 1932 Cadillac. Isn't she a beauty? The detail is just next level. It's just remarkable. It really is. But as I say, that one now, that is worth virtually nothing. Because of the condition it is now in. The buzz, that's not meant to be there. Is this my favourite room in the entire world? Yes. You know, it's what I love. It's what I love to collect. There is a few, I'm not going to say odd things, but as you can see there, I'm going to zoom in now. There's the Queen Mother set and the Royal set, along with a Russian Ural. But we won't go into why they are there right now. Clockwork, yes, I have one clockwork. I wouldn't mind a few more. But getting hold of them, it's not the easiest. Most of them are reproductions that you can get hold of. So it's just one of these things. Yes, I have plates. They're Imperial Airways. I'm trying to get the HP 42 one. Very difficult to get hold of, unfortunately. That space, that was the Monaco Grand Prix of 1958. That is upstairs in my bedroom. That's a massive metal poster. Said an Atkinson badge. It's a real one. Why father painted it that colour, I haven't got a clue. Albion, as sure as the sunshine. Yep, fantastic, love it. I think that's a Clydesdale from about 1951. Oh, and by the way, this one here, this larder, that actually isn't the fire brigade. That's not what I've been told. It's the electricity board. But it does look quite nice there. Tank transporters. Yes, that's from Dragon Armour. That is the new Forces of Valor. Yeah, I think they look good. It's a shame that they're up there. I wish they were lower, but you can certainly appreciate there is no room. Well, I say there is no room, actually. Have a look at this shelf. There is a bit of room there, and you can see all over the room. There's little bits of room. And you'd think that I would have filled them by now. But, yeah, I just haven't. There's been a lot going on this year, and to be honest, in this condition where the collection is right now, it's taken me 2 years to get it to this. Before that, this is what it looked like every day. However, I needed a change around. The problem with this side is, as you can see, we have little labels here, and it took me about a week to do back in 2023 to label what they're all called. And the reason for that is there's a lot of 1930s cars, especially American and British, that look the same, 1920s and even back into the 1910s. So that's been invaluable to displaying the entire front row of the collection, because without it I honestly wouldn't have a clue. I know that it says what they are on the bottom, but in terms of the year when they were released, I just wouldn't have a clue. And I say that that's the problem. And what I mean by that is, that's where my cars go. That's just my place, that's where I put them. So everything else behind them either has to look good or as good as them. So what we got here? Well, we've got a 1920s Rolls Royce, we have a Bentley, we have a 1928 Rolls Royce van that actually worked until 1980 for a Swiss firm. So everything behind them needs to look as good, if not better. So as much as I'd love to put some more lorries over here, I just don't think it'd look right. And that's what the other side is for. Some American highway legends there. Some of the cardboard models, which clearly are one-offs from one of my friends up in Scotland. Down here we have a farm, because remember, down here we have a farm. It once was a model railway, but not anymore. And to be honest, that's twofold for me. Because on one hand, I love collecting the models, you know, and I absolutely love that they're here, and is it my pride and joy? Well, it's definitely one of them. And before anyone says it in the comments, yes, I am nowadays a single man, which is half a good thing, because, you know, I can spend on my collection. You know what I mean? But anyway, so the reason why I am glad that the model railway doesn't exist, yeah, my friends absolutely love to see the collection in person. There's not many people who've been in here. A couple of ex-girlfriends, a couple of really good friends. Talking about friends, that Snowcat 743, that was made by Kelvin back in 2016. So that tractor was, I think they are both in the Christchurch Museum now, the real ones. Spitfire, one of 30 made. This is a wooden, yes, a wooden reproduction made in the Philippines of the Welsh Spitfire. Two-seat Spitfire, that is. I used to know, well, I didn't really know the owner. I knew his assistant when we owned the caravan in Wales. Very nice model. Very, very heavy. Very heavy. These are Atlas editions, I believe. Panzer V, and I think that's a Panzer V as well. That's the one with the extra armour for the Russian front. But my good friend John, who doesn't live that many miles away, he did these, you know, with the figures and the grass and the telegraph poles. Really good attention to detail. I know you can't really see them because of the lights, but yeah, I do like them. Is that HMS Prince of Wales? I think it is. That was given to me by my grandfather many, many years ago. And I don't know what that one is. I can't actually see it, to be honest, that repulse. But that's HMS Hood. This one here, this was where my first girlfriend worked. She didn't work at Harrods, unfortunately. But anyway, she worked in a care home, and I just asked her boss, and I said, oh, I have, you know, this is my collection. It's a I think it's a 1910, something like that. It's an electric van that Harrods did have. So anyway, for a tenner, it was mine. It is a bit cracked, but I love it. Actually, that is a wind-up. I did say earlier, I've only got one wind-up toy, but I don't. That isn't as old as what you think. They would have been from, you know, like 1912, somewhere like that, but that's a modern reproduction, 1990s. That's the Dornier X flying boat. There were 3 of them made in 1929. Conover there. I think we were a MiG as well. ME, of course. And then I think that's a Bristol Bulldog there. Yes, I love the golden age of the flying boats and of aircraft, as you can see, Imperial Airways. Yeah, that was... that's one of my better purchases, shall we say. Certainly is. It's everywhere you look, basically, there's just something. And I've had to lay it out in themes, so it's basically a collection within a collection. As you can see, artillery here. I'm not that keen on artillery, but I do have a friend who serves in the garrison, so this is a civilian organisation. They have 6 groups across the country doing demonstrations at wartime shows, and he serves in the Preston branch. And it's possible that I'll be serving with him next year, but we'll have to see about that. These are made of lead. These are Skybirds models. These are modern reproductions from 2014 to 2022. The company is now out of business. The moulds were sold back in May, unfortunately. The chap was called Tim Humphries, and if you go down to Brighton Toy Museum, you will see the originals from the 30s. Very beautiful, very well made. Certainly some of my favourite vehicles in here and my favourite models. Just a shame that the company's now gone. Because originally it was 1933 to 1945. It stopped during the war, of course, in about 41, 42. They tried to bring it back, didn't work. I believe he had the original moulds. I don't know what happened to him, but now the company's gone, unfortunately. I didn't look forward to buying some more, but just not possible. Some models have a story behind them more than others. So this set here, I got from Rill back in, I don't know, 2004. And you can actually see the condition of this Mac here, that it's been played with. But I like it, because that's how they would have been during the war, and even before the war. They wouldn't have been painted every time, you know, when they needed it. They certainly would have been knocked about on the journeys to airfields, so I do like that. It's a very special one to me, that. Then we have the Morris CS8 with the Italian artillery piece on the back. There's a Bedford QL. I know, looks quite unusual. It looks more like a Fordson. I think that is that a 6-pounder? Yeah, 6-pounder anti-tank gun there. Normally, that would be carried in the back. On this model, I don't know why they haven't done that. I really don't. Vietnam. Yes, I have a couple more Corgi that I'm converting into gun trucks. Just haven't got round to that yet. Really nice reel there, deuce and a half. Chinese, these are X-Car toys. Nowadays, off eBay, not the easiest things to buy. They usually take about 2 weeks to get to the UK, which is a shame, but bought these a few years ago. I'm a big fan of them because the Chinese, now in the diecast market, have really taken over, in my opinion. Really, really good attention to detail. Yeah, I really do like them. This Bedford QL, it took me 12 years to get hold of one. And my good friend Phil Smith, he has the entire set. And Phil has many, many more models than what I do, trust me. His garage is overflowing. when you have too many 1/76 scale road vehicles. They have to go somewhere, unfortunately. Do I like keeping my die casting boxes? No. But I simply don't have room on the table. You know, I don't have room in the house, to be honest. I do not live in a mansion. However, am I a hoarder? Am I a self-confessed hoarder? Yes. A bit like my mother, but hey ho, you can't do much about that. I don't like seeing them in boxes. I'd rather have them out on the table, but there's just no room. If I had my way, and yes, I've got time to do it, but really would I want to do it, I'd like to put these in order from World War One up to the present day. And there's a lot more aircraft than what you see here, but you know, they look fine where they are, in my opinion. I do like my aircraft. I'm a big fan. And to be honest, it's like kids of the 70s, you know, who would build model kits, model aircraft, especially say Spitfires, and put them on their bedroom ceilings. Do I wish I had some of these hanging in my bedroom? Oh, definitely. There's my alarm again. And to be honest, there is a lot of room on my bedroom ceiling, so if I get any more, that's where they'll probably have to go. Some are very low, and even me, you know, I'm not the tallest person in the world, but I do bang my head occasionally on them. We've got some really nice ones here. DHL, the 727, that really stands out to me. That was on Flight Simulator X many years ago. Many years ago. Some of them really do get in the way when I'm trying to put the models up. Others don't. But there's a vast array. Nearly fell over a box, but why am I not surprised there? My oldest one in the room is actually that one, the IL-2 Sternvik. First kit in the room in December 2010. Then I got the Messerschmitt. That's a very nice one. That is not Airfix, by the way, but I'm sure you know that by now. There's some Oxford aircraft up as well. There's a Beechcraft, one of my all-time favourite aircraft. Beech 18. And I think that's the problem. Is that when you run out of space, what do? Do you just stop? You know, can you stop? Can you stop yourself from collecting? In my case, the answer is no. I enjoy collecting globes as well. I have 4, but this is the best. As you can see, a bit of out of Africa here. Yes, I collect memorabilia. There's a lot more going on this wall. I just need to get round to it. Brighton Toy Museum shop was closed, so I was forced to buy this GMC from Eastbourne. It's a toy. But I might convert it into the 18 van because it's the same van. So I'll probably just do that. So as you can see, I don't just collect diecast models. I very much like my moulded animal figures. Is that what you call them? But yeah, particularly dogs, certainly. There's my alarm going off. Why are these on top of the microwave? Well, many years ago I put a couple on to be repaired and for spare parts, and because there's just no time to get them done, then they're still here, unfortunately.